Breaking news, 3 people are in the hospital after a shooter opened fire on them along 288. We've taken a closer look at this video here of the black Infiniti. The victims were actually in that vehicle, and we counted at least 6 bullet holes in the passenger side of the car. It was parked outside Ben Taub Hospital after police say the shooter opened fire on 288 on the feeder near Holcomb around midnight. It was after a fight at a different location. 3 people inside that Infiniti managed to drive to the hospital for help. Police say one of the bullets also hit a red van.
That was an innocent bystander, but his van did catch a, it was struck by a bullet. And so he's a witness to it, but was very uninvolved, didn't know what was going on.
The 3 victims are expected to survive. Police do not have any information on the shooters.
Well, a woman charged in the disappearance of that Fort Hood soldier, Vanessa Guevara, will appear in court today. This after Army officials said the remains found last week are those of Guevara. Our reporter Maya Shea is live with the latest developments on that case. Maya?
Yeah, it's such a tragic story, and Vanessa Guevara embodied the dreams of so many young people from right here in Houston. And one of the people accused in her death goes to court this morning. Cicely Aguilar has an 11 a.m. court appearance scheduled. It's her first appearance that will happen in Waco. She's accused of being an accomplice to Army Specialist Aaron Robinson, who actually killed himself after being identified as a suspect, but before authorities could arrest him. Investigators believe Aguilar helped dispose of Guevara's remains. The details of her horrific murder has been devastating for those who knew this young woman. Just yesterday, another mural here in the Houston area appeared, painted in her honor. Guevara, of course, graduated from Chavez High School with many, many dreams, and friends say they just can't believe all of this.
Ever since we found out, we've been going protesting every Friday and, posting on social media. And after these, more than 73 days, it's just really hard for us, and it's something that still feels very unreal because, we would spend every day with her, and just to know that this happened to her and none of her family or her deserved this.
And Guevara's family has been very, very vocal, even traveling to Washington, D.C. They say the military did not take her disappearance seriously when it first happened in late April. They are now demanding justice and systematic change. We, of course, will keep you updated. Reporting, Maya Shea, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Yesterday, people cried and prayed at a new mural dedicated to Guevara, and it was painted in Guevara's neighborhood on Park Terrace and Shady Park Drive in Southeast Houston. The artist, Roland Saldana, said that he knew he had to honor her.
Hopefully, this mural will kind of bring more attention and awareness to these matters.
It obviously hurts knowing why this mural is going up, but it's really nice to see everybody kind of appreciate the person that she was through the stories that everybody's sharing.
The mural displays the Mexican flag portraying Guevara's Mexican-American heritage, and also the American flag, which portrays the country she signed up to serve.
Doctors across the country are now worried about another spike in COVID-19 cases because of the 4th of July celebrations. People were told not to gather in groups. A lot of people didn't listen. This was the video once again in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri over the weekend. That same area saw crowds over Memorial Day weekend in a time when the U.S. cases started to spike. Well, so far, nearly 3 million people in the U.S. have been diagnosed. You can see the national trend up since March, dramatically in June after it dipped in May. But deaths have decreased. Some say that's because younger people are getting it, more likely to survive. Still, nearly 130,000 people have now died in the U.S. That is more deaths than any country in the world. And we know you have a lot of questions about which activities put you at higher risk for getting it. So some doctors have put together a chart ranking your possible risks for different activities. And here's our Courtney Fisher to walk us through it. Courtney?
Yeah, good morning, Tom. These testing sites are going to be busy. It's expected for this week, the coming week. So it's important to take a look at this chart. And this chart is so interesting because it's the first time that doctors believe they can assign specific risk based on activity. So take a look. It's put together by the Texas Medical Association. That's a group of about 15 doctors from across Texas. They assign activities to colors and then 5 different levels from low to high risk. For example, low risk, things like pumping gas, opening your mail, picking up takeout, all safe. The red area, though, that's your highest risk of coming into contact with COVID-19. Things like eating at a buffet, working out at a gym, going to a bar, going to church surrounded by more than 500 people. Now, there is so much to this chart, a lot of specific activities. You can take time to digest it. It's up on our website, ABC13.com. This chart comes as new research has found the SARS-CoV-2 strain has mutated. In fact, doctors believe that it has existed for months right here in Houston and other parts of the U.S. and in Europe, but don't panic, and they say this is why.
Mutations in viruses happen all the time, and this particular mutant, while it's able to sort of outlast its big brother or its earlier predecessor, it doesn't seem to pose any different type of threat to people at all.
The best way to protect yourself, the message is the same from doctors: wear a mask and socially distance. For now, reporting live, Courtney Fisher, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Courtney. Well, a Houston mother has a lot to celebrate after delivering a healthy set of triplets, all while beating COVID-19. Maggie initially went to the hospital for her scheduled admission and found out she tested positive for the virus. A few weeks later, she had an emergency C-section after finding out one of the baby's cords was wrapped around its neck. Fortunately, though, that happened after she received her second negative test. Hospital officials say Maggie and her new additions are all doing well, and they are just so cute.
Makes you want to have a couple more, 3 maybe, right?
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Makes you want to be a godmother to
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. There you go. I love being an aunt. Weather-wise for today. It does look like we've got a disturbance rolling through here. Our stretch of dry weather finally coming to an end. We've got a couple of opportunities here of seeing some measurable rain. Today's chance at 40%, 60% on Tuesday, and then slowly dropping by Wednesday and Thursday before a heat ridge builds in just in time for the weekend. So future track is displaying some widely scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder through the early part of the afternoon, and then really starting to dry out for the evening commute. We'll be looking to the north for any additional rain during the overnight hours, but for the most part, things should remain dry. I think we start to see a setup of more wet weather on Tuesday. So here's a look at that hour-by-hour forecast. Look for temperatures not quite as warm in the low 90s instead of the upper 90s with more cloud cover. And then this is what future track is displaying for Tuesday afternoon, more widespread rains that will eventually be lifting up toward the north as well by the evening hours. Now, once that heat ridge gets in place by the end of the week, that's going to dry us out, and that's going to boost temperatures back up in the upper 90s. And you can bet those heat index values will be closer toward heat advisories. We could be dealing with heat index values by the weekend between 105 to 110.
All right, that's all the time we have on this Monday morning. Hope you have a great Monday, everybody.
Join us at ABC13.com as well as our news app. Have a great Monday.